The rain hammered against the windows of our apartment in Seattle, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. For years, I'd prided myself on being a good husband to Bronwyn. I am Bastian, 43, and I work as a software engineer. We met at a tech conference, a whirlwind romance that led to a cozy life filled with weekend hikes, craft breweries, and the comfortable routine of shared dreams. Or so I thought. It started subtly. Bronwyn, who always worked remotely as a graphic designer, began taking business trips. She had always been independent, but these trips felt different. The laughter in her voice when she spoke on the phone faded when I entered the room. Her eyes, once bright and welcoming, now held a guarded look. I chalked it up to work stress, offering back rubs and listening patiently to her vague complaints about demanding clients. One evening, while Bronwyn was away on business in Portland, I decided to surprise her by cleaning out her home office. It was a mess of sketchbooks, graphic tablets, and half-empty coffee cups. As I sorted through the piles, I found a small, velvet box tucked away in the back of a drawer. It was a ring box, the kind that held an engagement ring. My heart skipped a beat. Had she been planning a surprise for me? But the box was empty. A chill ran down my spine. I opened the drawer further, rummaging through the clutter. That's when I found it, a receipt from a local jewelry store dated just a week prior. The item listed was a men's platinum band with a small inscription. My hands trembled as I read the inscription on the receipt. Forever Caius, Caius. Who the hell was Caius? My mind raced, trying to make sense of it. I knew no one by that name. A wave of nausea washed over me as the realization dawned. She was seeing someone else. The following days were a blur of sleepless nights and frantic attempts to piece together the puzzle. I checked her phone records, only to find most calls and texts deleted. Her social media was meticulously curated, devoid of any clues. I felt like a detective in a badly written novel, grasping at shadows. I confided in my best friend, Emmett, a gruff but loyal mechanic who had always been Bronwyn's biggest skeptic. Emmett listened patiently, his face grim. "Bastian," he said, "I've always had a bad feeling about her. She always seemed distant. I never said anything because I didn't want to hurt you." Emmett offered to help me investigate. He had connections, people who could discreetly dig up information. I hesitated. I didn't want to believe it, but the evidence was mounting. I reluctantly agreed. A week later, Emmett called me, his voice low and serious. "I found him, Bastian, Caius Morrow. He's a partner at a law firm downtown. Married, 2 kids. Anne and Bronwyn have been seeing each other for almost a year. The news hit me like a punch to the gut. A year. How could she have been living this double life right under my nose? The image of Bronwyn laughing, sharing our dreams, felt like a cruel mockery. Emmett sent me photos he'd obtained. Bronwyn and Caius holding hands at a restaurant, kissing in a park, entering a hotel together. The evidence was undeniable. My world crumbled around me. When Bronwyn returned from her business trip, I tried to act normal. I cooked her favorite meal, asked about her work, and listened to her stories with a forced smile. But inside, I was a volcano ready to erupt. That night, as we lay in bed, I couldn't take it anymore. "Bronwyn," I said, my voice trembling. "Who is Caius?" She froze. Her eyes widened and her face paled. "Caius? I don't know anyone named Caius. Don't lie to me," I said, my voice rising. "I know about the ring, the receipts, the photos. I know everything." Tears welled up in her eyes. "Bastian, please let me explain." "Explain what?" "How you've been betraying me for a year. How you've been lying to my face every single day." She began to sob, a torrent of tears and apologies. She claimed it was a mistake, a moment of weakness, that she still loved me. But her words rang hollow. The trust was shattered, the bond broken beyond repair. "I don't believe you," I said, my voice cold and hard. "I want you out of this apartment." Now she pleaded, begged, promised to end the affair, but I was done. I couldn't forgive her. The pain was too deep, the betrayal too profound. She packed her bags, her face streaked with tears. As she walked out the door, she turned back, her eyes filled with a desperate plea. "Bastian, please don't do this. We can work through this." "There is no we anymore, Bronwyn," I said, my voice devoid of emotion. "You destroyed it." After she left, I sank to the floor, the weight of the betrayal crushing me. The apartment felt empty, cold, devoid of the warmth and laughter we had once shared. I spent the next few weeks and days going through the motions of life. I went to work, ate, slept, but nothing felt real. The pain was constant, a dull ache in my chest. Emmett was my rock during this time. He took me out for beers, listened to my rants, and offered his unwavering support. He also kept me updated on Bronwyn and Caius. "They're still together," he said one evening. "He left his wife for her." The news didn't surprise me, but it still stung. It was a reminder of the depth of her betrayal, the callousness with which she had discarded our life together. As the weeks turned into months, I slowly began to heal. I started exercising, spending time with friends, and focusing on my work. The pain didn't disappear completely, but it became more manageable. One day, Emmett called me, his voice filled with a strange mix of amusement and satisfaction. "You're not going to believe this, Bastian," he said. "Caius got fired from his law firm. Apparently his wife found out about the affair and told everyone. He's ruined." I felt a flicker of satisfaction, a sense of justice served. They had both caused so much pain, and now they were facing the consequences of their actions. But the revenge didn't bring me the happiness I had expected. It was a hollow victory, a reminder of the love I had lost and the pain I had endured. I decided to move on, to start a new chapter in my life. I sold the apartment, packed my bags, and moved to a small town in Oregon, a place I had always dreamed of living. I bought a small cabin in the woods, surrounded by towering trees and the soothing sound of a nearby river. I started painting again, a passion I had neglected during my marriage. The colors flowed onto the canvas, expressing the emotions I had kept bottled up for so long. I found solace in nature and the quiet solitude of the woods. One evening, as I sat on my porch watching the sunset, I received a text message from an unknown number. It was Bronwyn. "Bastian, I need your help," the message read. "Caius left me. He took all my money and disappeared. I have nowhere to go." My first instinct was to ignore the message, to delete it and pretend it never existed. But a part of me, a small, lingering ember of compassion, couldn't bring myself to do it. I thought about all the good times we had shared, the love we had once felt for each other. I knew she had made a terrible mistake, but she was still a human being, deserving of some measure of compassion. I replied to the message. "I can't help you, Bronwyn," I wrote, "but I hope you find your way." I didn't offer her money, shelter, or forgiveness. I simply acknowledged her existence and wished her well. It was the best I could do. I never heard from Bronwyn again. I don't know what happened to her, where she went, or how she survived. But I hope she learned from her mistakes, that she found some measure of peace and happiness. As for me, I continued to rebuild my life, to find joy in the simple things. I learned to trust again, to love again, but with a newfound sense of caution and awareness. The betrayal had changed me, scarred me, but it had also made me stronger, more resilient. I had survived the storm, and I had emerged a better man. Years later, I met someone new, a kind and compassionate woman named Isolde. We fell in love, slowly and deliberately, building a relationship based on trust, honesty, and mutual respect. We married in a small ceremony in my cabin in the woods, surrounded by our closest friends and family. As I looked into Isolde's eyes, I knew I had finally found true happiness, a love that was built to last. The past would always be a part of me, a reminder of the pain I had endured, but it no longer defined me. I had moved on, I had forgiven, and I had found a love that was stronger than any betrayal. Life has a funny way of working out. What seems like the end can often be a new beginning. And sometimes, the greatest betrayals can lead to the greatest blessings. Summary. Bastian's world shatters when he discovers his wife, Bronwyn, has been having an affair with a lawyer named Caius for a year. The revelation comes with a ring receipt inscribed with Caius's name, leading to a painful confrontation and immediate separation. Bronwyn's betrayal leaves Bastian heartbroken and questioning everything he thought he knew about their marriage. As Bronwyn's affair falls apart and Caius leaves her penniless, she reaches out to Bastian for help. Despite the pain she caused, Bastian offers a simple wish for her well-being but refuses to enable her. He moves to Oregon, finds solace in art and nature, and eventually finds genuine love with Isolde. This journey highlights the resilience of the human spirit and the possibility of finding happiness again after devastating heartbreak. Remember, even in the darkest times, healing and a brighter future are possible. Never lose hope.